Well, that's just magnificent stuff. We're talking there about how he's hoping today's a better day. And if he was dreaming last night about how he was going to start day 2, that's probably what he was dreaming of. Wonderful stuff. We've seen quite a few of them. That's at least 5 we've had now, and we're only just into the second day.
Well, the racks are breaking well, and the players are putting some power into it, which is gets the balls moving, and the table is very fast. So, all it takes is, like we just seen there, a ball to kiss it, and it can reach them pockets. So we've certainly seen a few of them this week. I've not had one yet, by the way.
Give it time. The way you're breaking, it's inevitable at some point. And the thing is, as that 9-ball is trickling towards the pocket, if it doesn't drop, he's got a dry break, and Filler's got a great chance. Here it is again. We can't get enough looks at this. Talk about setting the tone for the day ahead.
Joshua Fuller's trailing 1 length and will break.
Well, I've seen Joshua actually place the cue ball in a different position than Fortunski. He's got it further out, and I think normally that will be requiring a bit of a cut break. However, as you see with the spin on that cue ball, he hit it, I think, a little head on for what he was actually playing, but perfect on the 1. So that's what I was just talking about. You need that to get going, to feel comfortable in a match. And the break does have some luck factor in it, so if it goes your way, you can capitalise on that, or you have to capitalise on that.
Just going back to what we were talking about earlier, Kelly, I mentioned the Women's World Snooker Final last night, a tournament you won 5 times, but you've not played in it now for 19 years, I think it is, since the last time you won it. You're based back in the UK now for some time, so any thoughts of getting back into that scene at all, or is it all about the pool now?
It's all about the pool now. To be honest, in my pool hall, snooker club up in Dumfries, we've got a new snooker league started, and I've been playing in it. I did it just to get, just to get a few people playing and show a bit of support, and I'm really enjoying it, really enjoying it. I have to say it here out loud. On Friday last week, I got a 130 and missed the black for 137 with my pool cue. I heard
about this. Jason was telling us about this when he came in the box.
Yeah, so I'm absolutely chuffed to bits with that, and I've had a 105, and I went for a 147 and missed the 12th black, and well, I didn't get on the 12th black, but yeah, so I mean, but it's so enjoyable to practice. I'm just doing it for fun. I'm playing with my 12mm pool cue, Predator carbon fibre shaft, so Revo. So yeah, I can't draw back as clean as I would with a snooker cue, that's for sure.
Given that you're still capable of playing to that standard, would you not like to even give up one event just to see how you compare to the players who are around now, or is all that in your past?
Yeah, no. The answer is no. No, simply because probably a little bit of ego, really. I finished on a high. If
at the Crucible as well.
Yeah, the Crucible. Yeah. I mean, if I go back and I should get beat, then there's really not very much to gain, to be honest.
Let's just look in next door, as I'm clearly not talking you into a snooker comeback anytime soon. It's Omar Al-Shaheen and Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. This one is in the opening rack. Al-Shaheen won 1 of his 3 matches yesterday. Sanchez Ruiz also played 3, didn't win any. Of course, you beat him in one of those, Kelly.
Yeah, Sanchez coming off the 9-ball win at the Derby City, and then coming here, you fancy him to go deep into this event, and there's nothing saying he's not going to do that. But yesterday again was just one of them days for him where he really never did kind of get comfortable, and it was surprising to see him lose all 3 matches.
Yeah, he was also doing very well on the Euro Tour when that returned in the second half of 2021. So he's been quite consistent with his form.
But yeah, Michael, just to finish off about the snooker, it's not, I'm saying 100% no, but really I'm very busy we're playing pool, and I'm going to focus on that. And there's so many, you know, there's some great players on the ladies snooker, and like I say, I don't want to go and I've finished on a high. I'll try and keep it there, because you know, if I go back, they should beat me, and they likely will. So I'll keep it where it left off.
Yeah, and you've made yourself one of the all-time greats of women's snooker already, so your legacy is firmly established. Back here, it's 1-1.
See, just there on that break, if we look at that, similar to what we're talking about with mine, he's made 3 balls off the break, I think, here. The 6th ball nearly went in, which on mine it did. But look at where the 2 balls landed. For me, thankfully, it was landing over a pocket or near, you know, a clean shot. The break's huge in Nineball. That's one thing we all know.
Yeah, and even though it's still a relatively early stage of the tournament, it seems to be changing quite rapidly. We weren't seeing many great breaks, not a lot of break and runs in the early stages of yesterday, but the table seems to be breaking much better now. The players seem to be figuring it out. You would expect in an 8-day event that might take a bit longer to really come to fruition.
Push out called. Good choice, Josh.
Well, Joshua's certainly got comfortable this week. He's put in a solid day yesterday, and he's got the speed of the table down. His cue ball control is exceptional anyway, but this table is very fast, and we can see that by his performance, has been playing very well and got comfortable with the table very quickly.
Well, whatever he had in mind as the outcome of that shot, certainly wasn't that. Filler, a very determined player, very ambitious. He's been US Open champion. He's been world champion. And although he had a pretty good 2021, he wasn't winning titles or really getting close to them at that sort of level. He's seen how big those tournaments have become. Wonderful staging of the US Open 2.5 years after he'd won it. And of course, the World Pool Championship now back in matchroom hands. And he has witnessed how big those events have become. So he'll be targeting those sort of titles in 2022. Still so young, of course, only 24. He's got many, many years. And you would think many big successes ahead of him.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's only 24. Wow. And what he's done already, what he's accomplished already in his career.
But that chance has certainly gone begging.
Extension, please.
I was just speaking about this cue ball being exceptional, and then he tried to just hold the cue ball with some right spin, some check side, if you like. But with it being still new, only day 2, it slid and hampered him with the 8 ball, so he elected the save. That's a beautiful shot.
Extension call.
This is a bit of a tricky one to hit off a rail, hence why he's going for the jump. He has a little bit more control with the jump, believe it or not, than he could have with coming off the side rail. He's given Fortunski a chance here, though.
Well, This rack has become something of an epic in comparison to the first two. We had the golden break from Fortunski in the opening rack, and then break and run from Filler in response. So 1-1 at the moment. Race to 5, remember, from start to finish in this tournament.
Well, he certainly won't be happy with that. He can't be affording to miss them against Joshua Filler. Just kind of come across that by the looks of it, trying to focus on his cue ball to get him on the 6 ball. And I'm sure Josh will punish him for that. Looks not happy. Maybe he's just landed slightly on the wrong side of the 6 ball. Yep, it looks like that. Should be fine.
Yeah, you never really have to wonder what Joshua Filler is thinking and feeling, because he tends to show it in his face and his emotions. Sometimes he even calls out during matches.
Well, he's scratching his head, and so were I when the cue ball went in the direction it went for this 7 ball. I really don't think he played for it into this pocket. However, I may be wrong. Can he get a nice recovery? He's not leaving himself easy, is he, Michael?
No, absolutely not. He's making hard work of this rack all round. That said, if he does win it, he'll be doing it against the break.
Nice shot there on the 8 ball. Let his arm out, let his cue in. Do the work and use the rails to get back on the 9 here.
And so welcome back to Milton Keynes on the second day of the Predator Premier League, where Joshua Filler is breaking at 2-1 up against Mieszko Fortunski. On the other table, Omar Al-Shaheen is leading 2-0 against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. Just the 1 ball down off the break. But again, Kelly, the key is he's got a nice shot here at the 1.
Yeah, it's a tricky layout. In fact, it's kind of, I think we'll see some safety going on here. Very difficult to get good on that 4-ball. Making a only way you can do it is a bank. It's possible 2 or a combination onto the 6. The pink 4-ball being, you know, just the key ball really here. I think he'll be looking possibly at the bank. But again, then is to get onto the purple 5. So curious to see what he opts for.
Mentioned earlier, he hasn't been winning the very biggest titles since he won the World Championship and US Open, quite close to each other a few years ago. But he has still been winning tournaments. He won 3 titles of various sorts in 2021. Already won the 10-ball division at the Derby City Classic just last month.
You know, I think our expectations of Joshua, obviously he's won so many events, and you know, our expectations are quite high of him because he actually won the International Open Bigfoot 10-ball event. He won the European Championships, am I right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, he didn't have a bad year at all. It's just that we're wanting to see him in the bigger events, if you like, or we're expecting it. Here we go. I told you the 4-ball being the tricky one. I don't think he landed on it where he wanted to actually have been going for the carom there. That wouldn't have been his first choice, I don't think. I left a bit of tricky layout here for Fortunski, though.
10 seconds. Extension, please.
Well, there was pressure on that shot. Boy, the match has just turned against him a little bit at the moment, and the knowledge of how efficient Filler can be in terms of pouncing on chances he's given. And still work to do here if he's to level up the match. Yeah, and you called it, Kelly. You said it was a tough layout. He needed one very good shot and got no further after that.
Yeah, that was a tough shot. I mean, it looked like he missed it. Well, he did miss it by a ways, but a tough shot that. And if you don't hit it perfect, it actually makes you look like you've missed it because it bounces off the rails, and these are bouncy rails. So he's let Joshua off the hook there, that's for sure.
Yeah, not as smooth as his previous breaking rack, but it looks as though Filler is going to win it and open that 3-1 lead.
Well, we've seen Fortunski now miss, you know, 2 chances, and in order to pull this back and have any chance against Joshua, he can't be doing that.
Joshua Filler now just 2 racks away from making it 4 wins from his first 4 matches. He leads Mieszko Fortunski 3-1. Now let's see what's going on next door. The match between Omar Al-Shaheen and Francisco Sanchez Ruiz. Al-Shaheen, runner-up in the World Championship last year, and off to a good start here. He's leading 2-0. Looking to make it 2 wins from 4.
Bow in hand. Start the clock, please.
World champions and former world champions all around me today. Just as one leaves, another one steps in. Carl Boyce is back in the box.
Thank you, Michael. I won't lie, I've not seen any of this match, so I don't really know the story of what's been going on.
Well, this is table 2 we're looking at here. We'll be back on the main table in a moment, where Joshua Filler is leading Mieszko Fortunski 3-1. Fortunski had a golden break with the first shot of the match, but has lost 3 racks on the bounce since then. So Sanchez Ruiz with a good chance there to get it back to 2-1. Having lost all of his matches yesterday. 3-1 back here on the main table.
Mieszko Fortunski to break.
Fortunski is really continuing the struggles that he had yesterday. Needs to find something here.
Lovely cue ball control there off the break. You couldn't put that any better with your hand right in the centre of the table. That is probably as close to the centre spot that you're ever likely to see that.
3 balls down off the break for the second breaking rack in a row.
That was also well judged. He's got options here. Be shooting this up into the top though, because it's a bigger pocket than playing it into the side. I've actually just been out near the practice tables, Michael, having a chat with the players and watching them practice, and them middle pockets, I just couldn't believe how tight they looked.
Yeah, these new slimmer pockets, shall we say, certainly make things more intriguing. See fewer break and runs, and they've really got to be earned when you do have them. I think we're going to see one here. And this was what Fortunski needed, just to stem that tide. So this is to get it back to 3-2. Having lost 3 in a row, Fortunski is back within striking distance. Now let's look in next door once again. Al Shaheen and Sanchez Ruiz. Al Shaheen was leading 2-0 in this one. And it's now 2-1. We saw Sanchez Ruiz closing in on winning that third rack, which he did do. Al Shaheen with the break now.
Purposely playing the cup break. That's where the cue ball stuns off the side rail, back out into open plate. You can see the difference there from the break we've just seen from Fortunski on table 1. If you can get that cue ball around the centre of the table, just gives you that many more options. Now that's not easy to do. Well, as he goes for the bank, very attacking, and the cue ball's found a pocket, so that's no good.
Yeah, perhaps a chance for the man from Spain to level that at 2-2. Back here, it's 3-2 to Joshua Filler as he breaks off in rack 6.
Same again here, you can just see, can't you? When you lose that cue ball, it just puts your percentages down. So if you broke off 100 times and you could put the cue ball in the centre of the table, logic would tell you you're going to have more shots at the lowest ball on the table. Now you can see the edge of this, so it's a thin one. He's trying to use the green and the red 3 as blockers, and that's a job well done. Now if he's hooked, he can kick this off the side rail. There's a chance of making it in the side pocket. He's just coming round to have a look at that. And if he's going off this side rail, you want to try and hit the top side of that yellow 1. That means it's going to go towards the side, but it's also means that the cue ball is going to come back up the top end of the table. It might even go towards the purple 5, depending on how he hits this. Oh, he's hit it way too thin. Well, I didn't mean go behind the purple 5 like that, but that is a right result.
Yeah, when you're behind in a match, sometimes you need that bit of good fortune to just help you turn things around. Here it is again.
Foul stroke, illegal contact, ball in hand.
That was always going to be a real difficult hit.
And
Didn't look like there's a natural path for Joshua.
Stroke, illegal contact.
And there you see it just catches the pink 4.
And how quickly this has turned around, because Fortunski was really up against it just a few minutes ago. He was 3-1 down. The only rack he had won was the first one with the golden break. Then he had a break and run. And now he's got a wonderful chance to level it at 3 apiece.
And he needs that little bit of run because he's having a little bit of a nightmare in the opening couple of days of this year's inaugural Premier League pool. We're not going to begrudge him a few nice rolls on the pool table. He's got to try and make something happen today. Kind of the story of the first opening day and a half is Max Lechner. He's been playing some good pool and just had a bit of a nightmare, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. But one really bad day in itself is by no means enough to come anywhere near ending your chances, because, as we've said, out of the 15 matches, if you win 5, maybe enough to get through. 6, you'd be very unlucky to miss out. So, going to have to play some good stuff, but the chance is still there to turn it around for him.
Yeah, what that would mean is, though, when you come back for the group of 10, if you're near the bottom of the group, you're going to have to win a lot of matches because the points carry over.
Yeah, absolutely. All he can do, I guess, is try to get through and then see where it takes you from there. If you finished strongly to get through, maybe carry that momentum through to the second phase. These are all the narratives we'll see played out over the next few days. What we're seeing played out here now is a good revival from Fortunski. 3-1 down, he's a couple of balls away now from levelling things up.
Yeah, it was nice speed that to land on the 8 in the side pocket. Really does play a nice game, does Fortunski. Just not quite at the reward as of yet on the world stage. Done okay on the
The rain is hammering down outside on day 2 here in Milton Keynes. And Joshua Filler looked to be storming to victory in this match. He was very dominant in winning 3 in a row to lead 3-1 against Mieszko Fortunski. But the man from Poland is back on terms at 3-all as he breaks in rack 7.
Oh, look at this again with the cue ball. That is pretty much identical to his previous break. That is incredible. How he keeps just getting the cue ball back there. But of course, this is the side of the game that is completely out of your hands. The old random ball comes over and hooks yourself.
How hard is it to do that, Carl? I mean, obviously you're hostage to fortune anyway, because even if you do get the cue ball into the middle of the table, another ball could just fly up and kick it out of position anyway. But how hard is it to get that, to get the cue ball in the middle of the table consistently from the break?
Extremely hard. It's without doubt one of the most difficult shots in the game. You know, the players are trying to do that. Some players might kind of just try and make the one ball in the side and hit them hard and kind of not really care about the cue ball, but you can clearly see Fortunski's, that's what he's intending to do. But to keep parking the cue ball in the centre, I can't stress how hard that is. And you know, pool players, amateur pool players all over the world will know that. But in theory, if he was to break 100 times and do that, you would like to think he's going to get more shots at the lowest ball as opposed to somebody just flinging the cue ball around the table off the break.
Over on the other table, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz has come from 2-0 down to level at 2-2 against Omar Al-Shaheen.
That's a real brave push out against Joshua Filler, that, because there's no way Filler's going to give this back. He's got an open look at the one ball. It's where the one ball is actually sitting, it's going into a more generous pocket because it's near a rail. So he can pinch this a little bit. There you see, just grazed the rail. I mean, that at this level, you know, that is a poor push out, it has to be said. I mean, that's the type of push out they play against you, Michael, not against Joshua Filler.
I think you'd psych me out with the push out rack after rack, Carl. I wouldn't be able for you at all. You psych me out in the commentary box as it is.
Well, the thing is with what he's done there is he's literally just said to Joshua, I don't fancy knocking it in, but I mean, Joshua Filler's one of the greatest potters Nineball pool has ever seen.
And he would love that challenge as well. He would love the idea of the gauntlet being put down to him. He's exactly the sort of personality who would love to just prove a little point.
Extension call.
So looking to regain the lead here at 4-3. Remember, he's won all of his matches so far.
Well, it's a poor miss.
But here's the question, Carl. On the normal size pockets, does that go in?
Yeah, that definitely goes in. I mean, it should never go in, but you can see he just grazes the rail halfway up. On a 5-inch pocket, new balls, new cloth, that pocket would just swallow it up. You've got to get a little bit more closer than that, Joshua.
An opportunity really knocks now for Fortunski. What a turnaround this would be. Not to be struggling to keep up at 3-1 down. Now he could go 4-3 in front.
Yeah, he's got to bear down himself here. He would have liked the cue ball to come a little bit lower down the table. So there's a bit of length on this. He's got to hit this smooth. He's very good at that shot. You can see the difference there. What he's done there is he's played that 7 ball into the pocket at the perfect speed, where if he doesn't hit it clean, it's still going to go in. If he hits that ball harder, the cue ball would have come over to this side rail.
Well, beating Joshua Filler would be a wonderful way to start turning things around after losing all 3 matches yesterday. And he's got a great chance. Fortunski first to the hill at 4-3. Now let's see what's happening next door. Omar Al-Shaheen in play against Francisco Sanchez Ruiz in rack 5. Remember, the man from Kuwait won the first 2 racks, but he's lost the last 2.
That was a nice bank shot to get his rack underway, but he's missed a long pot.
Again, though, you fancy that goes in on the normal size pockets.
Yeah, it just puts a little bit of a dimension. Don't forget these pool players who have played for many years. A lot of the tournaments they're still playing are played on a little bit more of a generous pocket. And the thing is, when you're playing on a big pocket, I mean, you know, let's not get giddy. They're still okay, these pockets. They've got to have a little bit of giving them. Otherwise, you're taking the aspect of 9-ball away. Because you want to see jump shots. You want to see kick shots. You want to see bank shots. That's what the game's about. But what it does do is when you've got a long pot, it just puts that little bit of doubt in your mind where you've got to say to yourself, I have to cue this ball well. And the minute you start thinking that, you don't cue it well and you miss the pot. I was speaking to Jason after his match this morning, and he said when he played he said, oh yeah, I had a few shots where there was a little bit longer and I knew I had to just cue it nicely. And that's where the doubt comes in your mind.
So a chance for Sanchez Ruiz to make it 3 in a row there and lead for the first time. Fortunski's won 3 in a row here, so Filler 4-3 down as he breaks.
Cue ball's going close to the corner. And there you see again, if the cue ball was around the centre of the table, he'd have a shot at this 1 ball. But he lost the cue ball, he stunned it off the side rail, and it was always going up towards that corner. So we're going to mark that one. I'm sure Pia's watching, she's going to mark that one down as a poor break, Michael.
Yeah, his wife Pia, very accomplished player herself. Runner-up to Kelly Fischer, actually, in the US Straight Pool Championship just a few months ago. She's here with Josh. I can tell you Sanchez Ruiz has now gone 3-2 up against Omar El Shaheen, having trailed 2-0 on the other table.
So it's Joshua's turn to leave Fortunski a little tester. He's got to go for this. If he pots this, I think the cue ball just misses the 6 ball. If the natural potting angle of this shot runs into the 6, I don't believe he's playing it. So he must, as long as he pots this one clean, I think the cue ball misses the 6, but he's got to avoid the pink 4. Well, he's missed it by a long way in the end. So he had a go at it, didn't he?
Well, that was what Filler was banking on. Maybe he felt Fortunski, knowing what was at stake, might not be up to the moment.
The difference between the 2 push-outs there, if we remember Fortunski's push-out, where Joshua just got down and potted the 1 ball was going into a bigger pocket because of where it was on the table. That time, Joshua teased Fortunski because he knew the ball had to be potted clean.
And now it looks for all the world as though we're going 4-all. The consolation for Fortunski is that he would have the break in a deciding rack.
Landed a little bit funny on this 5. The natural draw shot is going to go into the side pocket or into the jaw. Now he might have to pinch a bit, or he might have to stun this 5 ball in the pocket. Cue ball hit above centre with a bit of right English just to pull it back a little bit. He doesn't need to come that far back for the 6. Let's see what shot he plays. He's unsure, isn't he? He doesn't know whether to pinch a bit or stun it. Yeah, he's played the stun. You could see the spin on the cue ball, just leaves himself a shot. Now he's going to have to play this probably off the top rail. So off the bottom rail and then off the top rail, or is he dragging it? Yeah, he's played it off the top rail. That's perfect as well. Well, I say it's perfect. It's gone a little bit near the middle, but it's okay because he's obviously getting down very quick.
2 balls for 4-4.
And he's left himself a little tester on the cue in. He's going to go and wipe his cue down. Maybe have a sip of water. Because you need to cue these ones nice. They're on the rail. You've got to stay very still. Your bridge hand's got to be solid.
Quality cueing, a great show of temperament. And Joshua Filler looking anxiously at the cue ball, but it's safe enough, it's not dropping in, and so we're going to a hill-hill finish. It's Filler 4, Fortunski 4. Next door, Francisco Sanchez Ruiz has turned it around from 2-0 down against that man, Omar Al-Shaheen. He now leads 3-2, and he's in play here in the early stages of rack 6. Remember, he's looking for his first win. Lost all 3 yesterday. Been in such good form in recent months. They've been disappointed with the way things started. You'll see today has been all about turning it around and getting himself back in serious contention to make it to the next phase. Remember, 10 of the 16 at the end of Friday night will go through to phase 2. And then 6 from that 10 will make it to the final day.
So he's kicking at the 2-ball off the side rail. He's trying to hit the 2-ball half ball on the left just to split them. Very difficult shot this to see an outcome. He's drawing it off this side rail. He's going to try and pot this in the pocket. Yeah, this looks more favourable. It's going to slide. Very easy to misjudge this. And misjudge it he has, so he's give up ball in hand for Sanchez Ruiz.
Joshua Filler's last 2 matches have both gone to a deciding rack, and he's won them both. But it's Mieszko Fortunski who has the break.
Previous 2 breaks, the cue ball has landed in the middle. He's forgot to stun the cue ball, but more importantly, unfortunately for Mieszko, he's come up dry.
For the first time in this match.
Yeah, the 1 ball at the side point, then it looked like it was maybe going to go over in the other side pocket. And let's just have a quick glance at the table. Let's have a look. Doesn't want to tie the 5 up, that's okay. But the 3 to the 4 ball is basically the shot in this match. 3 to the 4. Just excuse me a minute, Michael. This is the pool player in me. 3 to the 4. 5 to the 6, maybe. It's all about this shot. He's lost the cue ball a little bit. That means there's distance now. He's going to have to put a good stroke on this ball. There you see he's aiming low. He's trying to draw this back over towards the 6. Oh, he's done a good job here. Doesn't want to get a funny kiss on this, though. He's all right.
When the big moments arrive, the moments of opportunity, Joshua Filler has delivered time and time again. He's twice provided the winning point for Europe in the Mosconi Cup against Dennis Hatch on his debut in 2017, against Shane Van Boning just before Christmas at Alexandra Palace. And when Wu Cha-Ching was coming back at him in the US Open final in Las Vegas 3 years ago, Filler got back in, took his opportunity so well. As I said, he won 2 hill-hill finishes yesterday. Now he's looking to bring all those qualities to the fore again.
There's a nice shot. He's going to play this off 1, 2 rails. So off the left-hand rail, the cue ball's going to come above the 9 off the rail where his bridge hand is touching. So watch the cue ball. 1, 2, back into open play. And this is absolutely perfect. Nice angle. Very good in this situation, Filler. When he gets that winning line in his sight, he's very good at killing the rack off.
So it looks as though Fortunski is going to make it 4 defeats from 4 matches. And that golden break with which he started this match feels like a long time ago now. And the thing is as well, for the man from Poland, is he's going to have a lot of time to think about this match and how it slipped away from him, because he doesn't play again until the last match on table 2 tonight against Alex Kazakis. Quick update from the other table. Francisco Sanchez Ruiz has won 4 in a row now, so he leads Omar Al Shaheen by 4 racks to 2. And it's also 4 in a row for Joshua Filler in terms of matches won here. He continues his 100%